Look, I'm not going to waste your time in this video, so let's get right to it. Trying to fit in with everyone else and doing exactly what everyone else is doing could be the absolute worst thing you could do for yourself. I lived my entire life trying to fit in with my friends, trying to fit this mold. I thought that standing out was going to be the absolute worst thing for me. And it led me to a path of finance and accounting because, oh, that's what everyone else is doing. That's what they seem to think is a good, stable idea. Let's do that. And continuing to go along with my friend group and these social plans that I knew deep down was actually unfulfilling, but hey, at least I'm fitting in. This is what everyone else seems to be doing. So I'm going to keep going along with emotions and lying to myself. I was pretending that I was on the right track because I was, quote, fitting in. And I felt like I was living like everyone else. So that should be leading to a fulfilling life, right? But it wasn't. And it wasn't till I finally gave myself permission to truly be different, to stop trying to fit in so much and fit this, quote, mold, that I finally stepped into a life that truly feels fulfilling, that feels aligned. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. Stepping into the power of being different has allowed me to start my own podcast, start creating content, step away from that career path and those friendships that felt misaligned before and that truly did not fulfill me. Find the confidence to make moves in my life, to solo travel, to not stay stuck in this mold and put all this pressure on myself to try to fit in. But the only reason that I was able to step into this life, the only reason I was able to find the confidence to do this was because I stopped trying to fit in. I stopped running from this idea of being different. I allowed myself to fully embrace my uniqueness and be authentic, even if that means losing people along the way, feeling rejected at times, even if that means not fitting in. It's gonna feel hard, it's gonna feel scary, it's gonna feel uncomfortable, but it's led me to the realization that your dream life will never come if you continue to try to fit in with other people. And if you don't believe me, just believe Alex Hormozi. He shares this idea that the best way to guarantee failure is to do what everyone else is doing. So that's what we're going to dive into today. Why you need to lean into being different, why that's going to be the best thing for you, and why you can stop forcing so hard to fit in. And I'm going to share the most important point at the end, so be sure to stay throughout the whole episode for full value here. Let's dive in. All right, so first point I'm going to make here, if you have to change who you are to fit in with those people, they're simply not for you. If there's going to be people in your life who you know are going to reject you if you step into that authentic version of you, let them. Honestly, they are doing you a favor. And trust me, I get how uncomfortable and scary and hard this can feel. When I started the podcast, I lost multiple friends. I lost multiple people who I thought were going to be lifelong friends in my life. And yes, it felt really hurtful at first. I was wondering what I did wrong. What did I ever do to them? Like, this feels so out of the blue. What is happening? What was happening was I finally allowed myself to be authentic and step into who I really am and take steps to up level and live my dream life. And that felt uncomfortable to them. I no longer was living in this box that they were used to me fitting in. I started to be different from them. And that can feel intimidating to a lot of people. And so what they might do is reject you. They might make you feel bad for that. But they are doing you a favor because they're setting you free from this pressure that you've always felt around them to try to fit in, to try to change who you are. And by stepping away from those people, by finally letting yourself distance from them, you are creating space for people who will accept and love you for being different, for being unique, for having the strength to actually step into that. Think of it as them setting you free from this constant pressure that you felt to like really fit in so hard with these people, to have that constant anxiety that they're going to leave you behind or judge you if you reveal too much of your authentic self to them. That's how I felt with those friends. And I promise you, it is a blessing in disguise if that happens. So if that's holding you back from letting yourself be different, letting yourself be unique, I promise you, the friends that are right for you are ones you won't have to change around. You're not going to have to force to fit in with them because they will just love and accept you for who you are. And that leads me to my next point. The longer you force being someone you're not, the longer you're going to stay unhappy and anxious in life. Let's be fully honest here. It is exhausting and draining when we try to be someone we're not, when we try to hide who we really are, and when we try to fit a certain persona that we think is going to be liked by other people. Trying so hard to fit in is freaking exhausting. There is a reason why you feel depleted and drained after spending time around certain people in your life. It's because you're not letting yourself be your true, authentic self around those people. You're forcing yourself to put on this act. And because it's not natural, because it's not who you really are, it's tiring, it's exhausting, and you leave with your energy down here when it really should be up here. So if you think about the people in your life who you feel this way around, ask yourself, are you trying really hard to fit in with these people? Or will they love and accept you? And do they love and accept you as your unique self? Would they embrace and accept and love your differences? Or do they want to keep you in this box? Do they need you to fit this mold? Do they maybe project their judgment onto you when you let that authentic side of you out? Why do you feel so drained and depleted after you spend time around those people? Because if you want to you feel happy, feel energized, feel aligned, that means surrounding yourself by people who will love and support you for being different. It means allowing yourself to step into your authenticity. And yes, again, being open to rejection, being open to losing certain friends, but it's not a loss. You are creating space for these people who will love and accept you for who you are. So the longer you force fitting in with these certain people, the longer you're going to feel unhappy and anxious and drained. And the sooner you can allow yourself to be authentic and to lean into your uniqueness and your differences, I promise you, it will contribute so much to your happiness and make you feel way less anxious. You're going to look back and wonder why you were putting so much pressure on trying to fit in with these people when all it was doing was making you feel anxious. All right, third point that I want to share here, why you should stop trying so hard to fit in. Their path, that one you might be wanting to follow and fit in with, has nothing to do with your path. Their path is entirely different than yours. We are all here and have a unique path and purpose in life. So if you're making a decision, if you're following a certain path because, oh, that person's doing it, or it seems like majority of people are doing that, I'll do that, that's your automatic sign, your immediate sign that that thing's not meant for you. Because your reason of pursuing that path is simply because they're doing it. And again, their path, their purpose is going to be entirely different than your own. And what if they're pursuing that path just because they saw someone else doing it? Maybe it's this whole trickle effect of no one actually feels aligned with their path because they're just trying to fit in with other people. Maybe everyone feels lost. Maybe everyone's just trying to fit in. Even more reason why it's so important for you to step into your differences, into who you uniquely and authentically are. Because only in doing so are you ever going to feel aligned in your actual path. What most people are doing has nothing to do with what you should be doing, what you know deep down you want to be doing. And again, like Alex Hormozi says, the longer you continue to do what everyone else is doing, you're guaranteeing failure. Because what you're doing is you're guaranteeing misalignment. You're guaranteeing that you stay trapped in that pattern of unhappiness and anxiety because you're forcing trying to be someone you're not. I'm constantly finding this narrative replaying in my head like, oh, I should do this because that person's doing it, or I shouldn't do that because that person stopped doing that. It's habitual. You are human. I find myself caught in this trap a lot when I see other 20-somethings going out on weekends, staying out late, going to all these fancy dinners, whatever it may be. Whereas I like to spend my weekend focusing on the podcast, focusing on creating. It's what I love. It's what makes me feel good. I like to be in bed by 9 p.m. and wake up at 6 a.m. And most people are going out at 9 p.m. But there is always a part of me that's like, that's what most people are doing. Like, should I be doing that? It'll help me fit in more. And then I immediately catch myself and I'm like, absolutely not. Why? Because being different and doing what's different from everyone else, I know is what's true to me. And the fact that it is different than from what everyone else is doing is evidence that it's true to me because I'm doing it anyways. Because I know that's how much I value it, that I value that difference. I value how it's unique from what everyone else is doing. It's my sign that I'm actually aligned with what I'm doing and aligned with my path. So yes, I have that voice that comes up that looks at what other people are doing and wonder if I'm on the right path and wonder if I should lean more towards that. But then there's my deeper knowing that knows, actually, I know exactly what I want and I know exactly how I like to live my life. And I love that I do something that's different, that's unique, because it's me. And that's what true alignment is going to come from in my life. So whenever I have that narrative come up, I now reframe it to say, yeah, I want my life to be different from theirs. So therefore, I'm going to do what's different. I'm going to stick to what feels true to me, even if that looks very different than what they're doing. Every time that you choose their path, that you follow what they're doing just because they're doing it, you're saying no to yourself and yes to them. So we need to switch it and start to say yes to ourselves and no to that misaligned path just to, quote, fit in, which again is going to keep you unhappy and anxious and stuck. And this leads me to the last and most important point. Do you want their life? Do you want their life? Do you align with their values? Do you want that lifestyle that they're living? Do you respect who they are as a person? Because if you don't want their life, your path should not look like theirs. Honestly, I think back to like school, let's say, for example, when I felt that pressure to fit in with certain people, whether it be that cool friend group or certain friends or whatever. It was always the people who were very judgmental, who were not very open and kind and loving. It was always the people who I felt would judge me if I revealed that authentic side of myself. And so it was me trying to fit in with them based out of fear, not based out of inspiration or motivation. It wasn't me saying like, oh, I want to try to be like them because I love their life and I love who they are. It was me saying like, I want to avoid being rejected by them and ridiculed by them for being different. So I'm going to try to lean more into who they are just to try to fit in with them so they like me. And if that's your motivation for fitting in with someone, asking this question of do you want their life can help bring you back on track. Because if you don't want their life, your path will look different from theirs. So I think back to that example of going out on weekends, and I remind myself I am on track, because the people who I truly admire and aspire to be and look up to, they're not going out late on weekends. They're not feeling the need to numb the pain from their work week. They love every single day, and they love getting to bed early and waking up early. And that's what feels aligned with me. So those are the people I'm going to take steps towards and aspire to be, while staying aligned with who I am and my authenticity. Not those people who I might compare to on social media who are having fun at all these parties on weekends. They're on an entirely different path. And quite honestly, I don't want their life. And it helps bring me back on track. So if you don't want their life, if you don't truly respect and admire the path that they're on and who they are, come back to your unique and different path. Taking a different path from theirs is the best thing that you can do for you. So I hope you take all of these shifts, all of these reminders to remind yourself to always lean into your uniqueness, to be different. And it's the absolute best thing that you can do for you. So stop trying to fit in and be uniquely you.